Welcome to our video on anger management strategies for controlling anger issues. Anger is a natural emotion, but when it becomes overwhelming or unmanageable, it can have a significant impact on our relationships, health, and overall well-being. In today's video, we'll explore effective strategies to recognize, understand, and manage anger more constructively. Whether you're looking for techniques to calm down in the moment or long-term solutions to reduce overall stress, this guide is designed to help you harness your emotions positively and build healthier communication patterns. Let's embark on this journey towards greater self-control and emotional resilience. Anger management strategies for controlling anger issues. Understanding anger, a double-edged emotion. Anger is a natural and healthy emotion that is neither inherently good nor bad. Like all emotions, it serves a purpose, signaling that a situation is upsetting, unfair, or threatening. However, if your immediate response to anger is to lash out, the underlying message is never communicated. While it's completely normal to feel angry when you've been wronged or mistreated, the issue arises when that anger is expressed in a way that causes harm to yourself or others. You may believe that venting your anger is beneficial, that those around you are overly sensitive, or that your anger is justified and needs to be displayed to earn respect. However, the reality is that anger often has a detrimental effect on how others perceive you, clouds your judgment, and hinders your path to success. Effects of anger. Chronic anger that frequently flares up or spirals beyond control can lead to significant repercussions for your physical health. Consistently functioning at elevated levels of stress and anger increases your vulnerability to various conditions, including heart disease, diabetes, a weakened immune system, insomnia, and high blood pressure. Mental health. Persistent anger drains substantial mental energy and clouds your judgment, making it challenging to focus or enjoy life. Additionally, it can contribute to stress, depression, and other mental health issues. Career. While constructive criticism, creative differences, and passionate discussions can be beneficial, reacting with anger only serves to alienate your colleagues, supervisors, or clients, ultimately diminishing their respect for you. Relationships. Anger can leave lasting emotional wounds on those you care about most and hinder both friendships and professional relationships. Intense outbursts create an environment where others struggle to trust you, communicate openly, or feel at ease. This is particularly harmful to children. If you often find yourself with a short fuse, it might seem like your temper is uncontrollable, leaving you feeling helpless. However, you actually have more power over your anger than you realize. By gaining insight into the underlying causes of your anger and utilizing effective anger management techniques, you can learn to express your feelings without causing harm to others and prevent your temper from taking over your life. Myths and facts. Myth: I shouldn't suppress my anger. It's important for my well-being to express and release it. Fact: while it's accurate that suppressing and ignoring anger is detrimental to your well-being, venting isn't a healthier alternative either. You don't need to express anger aggressively to prevent an explosive reaction. In fact, outbursts and rants merely stoke the flames and exacerbate your anger issues. Myth: using anger, aggression, and intimidation enables me to gain respect and achieve my goals. Fact: respect is not earned through bullying or intimidation. While people may fear you, true respect stems from self-control and the ability to embrace differing opinions. When you communicate respectfully, others are more inclined to listen and consider your needs. Myth: I find it hard to restrain myself. Anger is an emotion that can be difficult to manage. Fact: you may not always have control over your circumstances or the emotions they evoke, but you do have power over how you express your anger. It's possible to convey your feelings without resorting to verbal or physical abuse. No matter how much someone may irritate you, you always have the option to choose your response. The benefits of anger management. Understanding how anger management can benefit you. Many individuals believe that anger management focuses on learning to suppress anger. However, aiming to never feel angry is not a healthy objective. Anger will inevitably surface, no matter how hard you try to stifle it. The true aim of anger management is not to eliminate feelings of anger, but to comprehend the message behind the emotion and express it constructively without losing control. By doing so, you will not only feel better, but also increase the likelihood of having your needs met, effectively managing conflicts, and strengthening your relationships. Mastering anger management requires effort, but with practice, it becomes easier. The benefits are significant. By learning to control your anger and express it appropriately, you will cultivate better relationships, reach your goals, and lead a healthier, more fulfilling life. Tip 1. Delve into the true source of your anger. Have you ever found yourself in a heated argument over something trivial? Often, significant conflicts arise from minor issues, such as a forgotten dish or a mere 10-minute delay. However, there is usually a deeper issue at play. When you notice your irritation and anger escalating quickly, ask yourself, what is truly making me angry? Recognizing the actual root of your frustration will enhance your ability to express your anger constructively, take meaningful action, and work toward a resolution. Is your anger hiding other emotions, such as embarrassment, insecurity, hurt, shame, or vulnerability? If your instinctive reaction in many situations is anger, it may be that your temper is concealing your true feelings. This is particularly common for those who grew up in families where emotional expression was discouraged. As an adult, you might struggle to acknowledge emotions beyond anger. Additionally, anger can serve as a mask for anxiety. When you feel threatened, whether the threat is real or imagined, your body triggers the fight or flight response. In the case of the fight response, this often manifests as anger or aggression. To alter your reaction, it's essential to pinpoint the causes of your anxiety or fear. Anger issues can also originate from childhood experiences. If you witnessed family members yelling, hitting, or throwing objects, you might believe that such expressions are the norm for anger. Furthermore, anger can be a symptom of other underlying health issues, such as depression, particularly in men, trauma, or chronic stress. Signs that your anger runs deeper than it appears. Difficulty compromising. Do you struggle to see others' perspectives, finding it challenging to concede a point? If you grew up in a household where anger was rampant, you may remember how the angriest person often got their way by being the loudest. Compromising might evoke fear of failure and vulnerability. Viewing differing opinions as personal attacks. Do you feel your way is always right and become angry when others disagree? If you have a strong desire for control or possess a fragile ego, you may see differing viewpoints as a challenge to your authority rather than simply an alternative perspective. Struggles with emotions beyond anger. Do you take pride in being tough and in control? Do you believe emotions like fear, guilt, or shame don't pertain to you? Everyone experiences these emotions, so you might be using anger as a facade. If you find yourself uncomfortable with various emotions, feeling disconnected, or stuck in an angry reaction, it's crucial to reconnect with your feelings. Tip 2. Recognize your anger warning signal. Although it may seem like your anger erupts suddenly, your body actually sends physical warning signals. By becoming aware of these personal indicators, you can take proactive steps to manage your anger before it spirals out of control. Notice how anger manifests in your body. A tight knot in your stomach, clenching your hands or jaw, feeling clammy or flushed, rapid breathing, headaches, pacing, or a need to walk around, seeing red, difficulty concentrating, a pounding heart, tension in your shoulders. Tip 3. Recognize your triggers. Stressful situations don't justify feelings of anger. However, comprehending how these events impact you can empower you to take charge of your surroundings and prevent unnecessary frustration. Examine your daily routine to pinpoint activities, times, individuals, places, or circumstances that provoke feelings of irritability or anger. For instance, perhaps you often find yourself in conflict with a specific group of friends whenever you go out for drinks. Or maybe the congestion during your daily commute drives you up the wall. Once you've identified your triggers, consider strategies to either avoid them or shift your perspective so they don't ignite your temper. Negative thought patterns that can trigger anger. You might believe that external factors, such as the thoughtless actions of others or frustrating situations, are the root cause of your anger. In reality, anger issues are more about how you interpret and think about these events rather than the events themselves. Common negative thinking patterns that can incite and sustain anger include overgeneralizing, saying things like, "You always interrupt me," "You never consider my needs," "Everyone disrespects me," or "I never get the credit I deserve." Obsessing over shoulds and musts, maintaining a rigid perception of how a situation ought to unfold, and feeling angry when reality doesn't match this expectation. Mind reading and jumping to conclusions, assuming you know what someone is thinking or feeling, that they intentionally upset you, disregarded your wishes, or disrespected you. Collecting straws, actively seeking out reasons to feel upset, often overlooking any positives. This can lead to a buildup of minor irritations until you reach the final straw and explode over a relatively trivial issue. Blaming, believing that when anything unfortunate happens, it's always someone else's fault. You might tell yourself, "Life's not fair," or hold others responsible for your problems instead of taking ownership of your life. By recognizing the thought patterns that fuel your anger, you can learn to reframe your thinking. Ask yourself, what evidence supports this thought? What evidence contradicts it? Is there a more positive, realistic way to view this situation? What advice would I give to a friend experiencing similar thoughts? Tip 4. Discover quick ways to cool down. Once you learn to identify the warning signs of rising anger and anticipate your triggers, you can take swift action to manage your emotions before they escalate. There are various techniques that can help you calm down and maintain control over your anger. Techniques to cool down. Focus on physical sensations. While it may seem counterintuitive, paying attention to how your body feels when you're angry can often reduce the emotional intensity of that anger. Practice deep breathing. Engage in deep, slow breaths to counteract tension. Breathe deeply from your abdomen, ensuring you fill your lungs with fresh air. Get moving. A brisk walk around the block can be highly beneficial. Physical activity helps release built-up energy, allowing you to approach situations with a clearer mindset. Engage your senses. Utilize your senses, sight, smell, hearing, touch, and taste. To relieve stress quickly, you might listen to a favorite song, admire a cherished photo, enjoy a warm cup of tea, or pet an animal. Stretch or massage tensed areas. If you notice tension in your shoulders, for example, roll them or gently massage your neck and scalp. Count to 10. Slowly counting to 10 helps your rational mind catch up with your emotions. If you still feel overwhelmed by the time you reach 10, start counting again. Give yourself a reality check. When you feel yourself getting upset, take a moment to reflect on the situation. Ask yourself, how significant is this in the grand scheme of things? Is it truly worth my anger? Am I jeopardizing the rest of my day over this issue? Is my reaction appropriate for the situation? Is there anything I can do to address it? Is taking action worth my time? Tip 5. Discover healthier ways to channel your anger. If you believe that a situation warrants your anger and you can take steps to improve it, the crucial factor is to express your feelings in a constructive manner. Mastering the art of resolving conflict positively will enhance your relationships instead of harming them. Key principles for healthy conflict resolution. Always fight fair. It's natural to feel upset with someone, but unfair fighting can quickly damage the relationship. Engaging in fair conflict allows you to communicate your needs while still honoring the other person's perspective. Prioritize the relationship. Focus on nurturing and strengthening the relationship rather than winning the argument. Always show respect for the other person and their viewpoint. Stay present. In the heat of an argument, it's tempting to bring up past grievances. Instead, concentrate on what you can do now to resolve the issue. Be open to forgiveness. Resolving conflict is impossible if you're unable or unwilling to forgive. True resolution comes from letting go of the desire to punish, which only adds to your emotional burden. Take a break if needed. If emotions start to escalate, step away from the situation for a few moments or as long as it takes to regain your composure. Know when to move on. If reaching an agreement proves elusive, Consider agreeing to disagree. Remember, it takes two to sustain an argument. If a conflict isn't progressing, you can choose to disengage and shift your focus elsewhere. Recognizing passive-aggressive behaviors. Anger doesn't always manifest through visible signs like a furrowed brow or raised voice. It can also appear as passive-aggressive behavior, which is more subtle. This includes expressing anger indirectly or in a seemingly non-confrontational way. For example, you might sarcastically say, "Thanks for all your valuable input," to a coworker who didn't contribute in a meeting, or give your partner the silent treatment after they upset you. Such behaviors can harm relationships by creating confusion and failing to communicate your true feelings. Strategies for change. Reframe your perspective on conflict. Many passive-aggressive individuals fear direct confrontation. By clearly expressing your wants and needs, you help others understand you better. Be mindful of your anger. When you notice signs of anger rising, take a moment to jot down what's bothering you instead of reacting in a passive-aggressive manner. Practice assertiveness. Work on articulating your needs and establishing boundaries in a respectful yet clear way to those around you. Tip 6. Maintain your composure by prioritizing self-care. Taking care of your overall mental and physical health can significantly help in reducing tension and managing anger problems. Manage stress. High stress levels can make it challenging to control your temper. Consider incorporating relaxation techniques, such as mindfulness meditation, progressive muscle relaxation, deep breathing exercises. These practices can help you feel calmer and more in control of your emotions. Talk to someone you trust. Engaging in face-to-face conversations with a friend or loved one is one of the most effective ways to alleviate stress. The listener doesn't need to provide solutions. They simply need to be present. However, discussing your feelings and seeking a different perspective is different from merely venting. Venting your anger to someone may only intensify your temper and reinforce your anger issues. Get enough sleep. Insufficient sleep can worsen negative thoughts and leave you feeling irritable and short-tempered. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night. Exercise regularly. Regular physical activity is an excellent method to release tension and reduce stress, leading to a more relaxed and positive mindset throughout the day. Try to engage in at least 30 minutes of exercise most days, breaking it into shorter sessions if that's more manageable. Be mindful of alcohol and drugs. Substances like alcohol and drugs can lower your inhibitions, making it harder to control your anger. Even excessive caffeine intake can increase irritability and trigger anger. Keeping an anger journal. Another effective way to manage stress is by documenting your frustrations. Writing about how a situation affects you can help release emotions, clarify your thoughts, and provide a more objective perspective. You might find it helpful to dispose of your writing afterward, symbolically letting go of the anger. Consider these writing prompts to explore your anger. What outcome in this situation would bring you happiness? What angered you the most, and what lessons did you learn from it? Does this situation remind you of a past experience? What advice would you offer a friend in a similar position? Tip 7. Utilize humor to alleviate tension. In times of stress, incorporating humor and playfulness can help to lighten the atmosphere, bridge differences, reframe challenges, and maintain perspective. If you sense anger rising in a situation, consider introducing a touch of lightheartedness. This approach allows you to convey your message without triggering defensiveness or hurting the other person's feelings. However, it's crucial to share laughter with the other person rather than at their expense. Steer clear of sarcasm and mean-spirited jokes. If you're unsure, start with self-deprecating humor. People tend to appreciate those who can gently poke fun at their own shortcomings, as we all have flaws and make mistakes. For instance, if you mess up at work or accidentally spill coffee on yourself, instead of reacting with anger or hostility, try to make a joke about it. Even if the humor doesn't land as expected, the only person you might offend is yourself. When humor and playfulness are employed to diffuse tension and anger, potential conflicts can transform into opportunities for deeper connection and intimacy. Tip 8. Acknowledge when anger management classes may be necessary. If you've been implementing previous anger management techniques but still find your anger spiraling out of control, or if you're encountering legal trouble or harming others, it may be time to seek professional assistance. This can come in the form of therapy or anger management classes. Therapy options. Therapy, whether in a group, individual, or online format, can be an effective way to delve into the root causes of your anger and identify your triggers. It also provides a secure environment to practice new skills for expressing anger constructively. Anger management classes. Anger management classes offer the opportunity to connect with others facing similar challenges, while learning valuable tips and techniques to manage your anger. Research indicates that anger management programs can effectively reduce anger while enhancing problem-solving and communication skills. Led by specialists or counselors, these classes will help you understand the nature of anger and explore common strategies for coping with this emotion. You may be required to use a workbook in these classes, allowing you to apply the lessons to your unique situation. Some classes even provide a certificate of completion, which may be necessary if your attendance is court-mandated. Group sessions versus one-on-one therapy. Group sessions are usually facilitated by a single instructor who guides participants through educational material and group discussions. These classes might cover topics such as recognizing triggers and exploring effective coping techniques. While the material may feel more generalized in a group setting, you benefit from connecting with others dealing with similar anger issues, sharing experiences, and discovering effective coping strategies. Individual therapy sessions can complement or serve as an alternative to group anger management classes. These one-on-one meetings with a counselor or therapist provide personalized advice and feedback. For instance, a counselor might recommend cognitive behavioral therapy techniques tailored to your specific situations, allowing you to practice through role-play exercises. In-person and online options. You can choose from either in-person or online anger management classes. Many find face-to-face meetings more personal and intimate, while online sessions may be more convenient if you have limited time or difficulty accessing local options. For greater flexibility, consider self-paced online anger management courses. However, these independent learning programs often lack personalized feedback from a counselor or peers. Anger is not the core issue in an abusive relationship. Contrary to popular belief, domestic violence and abuse stem not from an abuser's inability to manage their temper, but rather from a conscious decision to exert control over another individual. If you find yourself being abusive towards your partner or spouse, it's essential to understand that you require specialized treatment rather than standard anger management classes. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of anger management strategies for controlling anger issues. We hope you've gained valuable insights and practical tools to help manage your emotions more effectively. Remember, the goal isn't to suppress anger entirely, but to understand and express it in a healthy way. By practicing these strategies consistently, you can improve your relationships, enhance your emotional well-being, and lead a more balanced life. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on emotional health and personal growth. Take care, and remember, positive change starts with you.